Welcome back to another edition of All Ball Chicago. I'm your co-host, Robert Bobby Reed, and I got the legend, the MVP veteran, your main man, the host, Marcus Liberty on the line. What's up, Marcus?
What's up, What's up, my beautiful people? Man, Bob, man, it's crazy, man, for real, man. It's coronavirus, man. I know it's hard to not talk about this, man, but it's crazy, man.
Man, they say, you know what? In December, man, I had those same damn symptoms, brother. I was sick as
Really?
hell for about 2 weeks, man. So they said I had an upper respiratory infection, so I probably had the virus. So, man, hopefully, that
Wow.
thing comes to pass. But yeah, man. But the virus is the virus. But we got a big conversation today, bro. Ham. We want to talk about draws. Mark Aguirre.
Hey, the legend, Chi-Town, West Side, man, will give you buckets.
Draws, man.
Yeah, man. So yeah, all ball Chicago. We want to dedicate this one to Mark Aguirre, man. A person that I definitely looked up to just from watching him play. Never watched him play in high school, but I did watch him play with DePaul Blue Demons. So he was a McDonald All-American, man. People think, if you don't look at your history, especially all our Chicago Hoopers, looking at the history of, Chicago basketball, Mark Aguirre is definitely one of the guys that spearheaded a lot of this stuff for me with my era, him and Isaiah Thomas. But being a McDonald All-American is special, man, and Mark Aguirre did it. And I would say Mark Aguirre did it on every level, not just high school. He did it on high school level. He did it on college level. He did it in the NBA. So big shout out to you, Mark Aguirre. This one is for you, buddy.
Mark, the big fella, man, had me as a shorty in my hallway with my hanger like,
In
jumping
the
by
sock,
Aguirre.
in
You
your dirty
feel me?
socks,
With
right? In
my
your dirty socks, in your dirty
yeah.
socks, rolled up, man. And mom was like, "Boy, put your socks, boy. Boy, you got to put those socks on tomorrow." You're like, "No, mom, I'm Mark Aguirre." You know,
Come on, man. I mean, he was
palming the
like,
sock and moving it around like this.
hey, Draws, boy, he had a good
Come
run,
on,
Big
man.
Mark,
Mark
man. I
Aguirre
tell
was
you,
a
man.
man.
Thinking back to that DePaul Blue Demons team, Mark coming in as a freshman, playing against Indiana State in the Final Four, man. Magic Johnson, Larry Bird. As a freshman from the west side of Chicago, how would that feel, Liv? You played in a lot of big games. How do you think he felt as a freshman?
Man, coming from Chicago, man, you'd have seen so much, and you playing basketball, something that you love to do. I'm pretty sure Mark is thinking the same way I would think. Man, this is just a game. So I'm actually happy to get away from the hood a little bit, so I can display my talent. And then on the big stage too. I mean, come on, the Final Four doesn't get any bigger than that, man. You're showcasing your talent for the whole world to see.
Yeah, you played in the Final Four, so you know how that feel. But he was playing against Larry Legend, who ultimately went on to be one of the greatest power forwards. What would you call Larry? Power forward or small forward or just a tweener?
Yeah, I think Mark was a tweener, man, because Mark could take you in, and he had those skills on the perimeter as well. But man, that could be one of the best Final Fours though in history, pretty much. I know I watched the Houston, Rockets. Houston Cougars, and when they were in the Final Four, and then the Georgetown Hoyas against Michael Jordan. That was a good, Final Four and championship games. But man, having Larry Bird and Magic and Mark in one building.
In
Oh,
one building, man.
come on, man. It doesn't get any better than that, Mark. Bob, for real.
Right. It don't get no
Real.
better than that. And then I think, if I'm not mistaken, Mark only lost like 3, 4 games his entire college career.
Right.
And one season, I think they only lost in the final for in the tournament the second year they got there, if I'm not mistaken, because they was going like 27-1, 27-2.
But let's think about this though, Bob, when we talking about Mark and then his setup. Like going to DePaul, I think really helped him because Ray Meyer basically gave him the steering wheel and said, "Man, take us, take us to where we need to go." And I think, and I know we mentioned this on an early podcast that we had put out, that it's all about picking the right school and the coach that believes in your talent and gonna let you, display that talent. And I think Mark Aguirre did a great job, and I think Ray Meyer did a great job at DePaul, letting his star player be him. And you saw it.
And you saw it, man. Channel 9 every night. When they played, that was the only games we could get. The DePaul
Marquette,
Blue Demons.
DePaul against Notre Dame. I mean, we saw those games, man. We look forward to those games. I think Mark Aguirre was playing against Orlando Wolverines most of the time when he was with Notre Dame, and then you got Marquette, So it was crazy, man, watching him. I mean, who wouldn't want to go to DePaul if he was from Chicago back then? I know I would have. It's just Ray Meyer was on his way out when I was about to come there, so it was his son. So I don't think his son had the same philosophy as his dad. So
right. Mark tells the story. He tells that story of when he took a visit to UCLA or something. They had supposed to be the number one player and all that, and he went in the building and killed everybody in there. He was like, "Well, why should I come here? I go home, get Terry Cummings, get Billy Clyde Bradshaw, get all those guys. We get together, stay at home, and kick butt, man." And it worked.
Wow. Yeah, and that is, I mean, if Mark can pull that off, which he did, to keep those guys at home and build success, it's kind of like what we did at the University of Illinois. We all stayed together. He did the same thing, So in our reality, I guess we stole it from Mark. Everybody just stay together, man, and we can be special. And I think Mark did that with the DePaul back in the 78, 79?
Yep, 78, 79.
He did it. So he did it, man. And big shout out to him, man. I want to say he averaged probably 20 something points a game.
Yeah, 25, man. 25, 5 and like 3 in college.
And then putting his name. You said we say he left his junior year, right?
He left his junior year.
And putting his name into the draft and then getting drafted by the Dallas Mavericks. I don't know if you was on the call earlier when we was talking about who was going to be number one and number two. They said it was going back and forth. Dallas Mavericks was between Isaiah and Mark Aguirre. So a Chicago guy was going to be number one in either way it went. And they were childhood friends too. So that would have made it even special that these two guys went 1 and 2 behind each other. Chicago friends and guys that went to the NBA together and got drafted right behind each other. So big shout out to Mark, man. I looked up to you, Mark. Every time I see you, man, it's nothing but love. So, man, I'm very proud of you. But we also want to talk about why the Mavericks haven't retired your jersey, number 24. And we understand that Kobe Bryant, Mark Cuban said that Kobe Bryant is going to retire at number 24 up in the rafters. But I think you can still do Kobe Bryant and Mark Aguirre. Man, Mark Aguirre put a lot of work in those arenas, man, that you had back in the day, the Dallas Maverick fans. And we need Mark Aguirre to be his jersey to be hung up in the rafters.
I agree with that, and I second that 100 to 100,000%, man. I think that the league, man, sometimes guys from Chicago, we just don't get, the love. I feel like that, man. I watch it, and I see that we don't get those opportunities because of how they like to label us. But Mark Aguirre is one of those guys. He should be in the hall. He should be first ballot, man. Come on, man. The man averaged 27 a night, 25 a night, 25, 5 and 5. They harangued LeBron for that. He was doing that back when they was beating niggas up. Excuse me, not niggas. Excuse my language, y'all. But when they was hacking.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. No, you didn't just say that.
I dropped the N-bomb, but
man.
But we get away with saying that, all right? Yeah. We can say that. Everybody else can't say that. All right, my bad though. Go ahead.
But if you go to the arena, man, if you go and it's only, I want to say 3 or 4 guys, numbers that retired, from the Mavericks. Derek Harper.
Rolando Blackman.
Rolando Blackman. The guard that we was talking about earlier, Brad, what's his name?
It was a big dude that got up there retired too. I forget his name.
Not Donaldson, is it? Well, anyway, I think it's Brad. I can't think of his last name, Brad. But anyhow, Mark Aguirre, his name and jersey number should be retired at the All-American Center, right? Is that what they have? All-American Center? Airline Arena or something? All-American Airline Arena. Well, Mark Aguirre jersey definitely need to be hung in the rafters, man.
Okay, so here it is. I pulled it up. Derek Harper, Brad Davis.
That's what I'm saying, Brad Davis.
And Rolando Blackman.
And you go pull up Brad Davis' stats. it doesn't even come close, man. It doesn't even come close.
Hold on. I'm finna pull him up. Okay,
Oh, man.
Brad Davis, 6'3", 181 pound, first round pick, number 15, point guard. Let me see what he averaged. NBA career. Let's see what your career was, Brad Davis. Why did you get the green light to go on the rafters, Brad? Over Big Draw, over Mark. Come on.
So it's personal. It's personal. It's something. I don't know if it's personal with Mark Cuban, but I think the fans or someone, man, need to take notice and let people understand that, man, we appreciate the work that he put in on the court, because Mark Aguirre put in work. Now, if it's something off the court, that shouldn't have nothing to do with him being, hung up in the rafters, man, his jersey. So, and same thing with the NBA Hall of Fame. I mean, whatever it is, man, whatever going on, man, what the work that man put in, I mean, for his career, 18,000 plus points, he should be in the Hall of Fame, and his jersey should be retired.
Yeah, and Brad Davis played for the Mavs 12 straight seasons. He retired the Mavs. So, okay, I respect that, but I still don't see his numbers. Why are there no numbers here?
Man,
where are the numbers at, man?
I guarantee you it's not 20 points a game. I'll tell you that. But
okay, so Brad Davis got 7,866 points. So he averaged 8.2 points per game and 1.8 rebounds and 4.9 assists for his career.
And did he win a championship or something? Why is his jersey hung up in the rafters? That's the question we need to ask. Why?
Brad Davis is in the rafters for the Dallas Mavericks, and he averaged, like I said, 8.2 points per game.
Man, cut it.
Rebounds.
Your price is way too high. You need to cut it. Man, come on, man.
Okay, what did Mark average? Let's see what he averaged for the Mavericks.
Man, them people, man, must be hot, man, for real. Mark Aguirre should be hanging in the rafters, dude. And that's real talk. That's real talk. That's facts. Facts. I mean, Mark Aguirre was the franchise, man. He was a franchise player. And actually, somebody told me that he helped Mark Cuban or introduced him to the people so he can buy the Dallas Mavericks. So Mark Aguirre has that relationship with Mark Cuban. So, but I know Mark probably, just like a lot of us, man, I ain't gonna mess with it. I'm good.
No. Mark Cuban, you need to mess with it, man. It's the right thing to do. You see where we at right now as a country. The country is shut down, man, because people not doing things the right way, man. Do the right thing, man. We won't get in these jams. Retire the man number, man.
Retire his number, man.
Come on now. You can't even open the doors to your building right now because of this thing that's going on. You know?
and like we said, we understand the situation, what happened to the great Kobe Bryant. He wears the number 24, and you came out and said that, but Mark Aguirre also wore that number. So just retire both of them. I mean, both of them. You already said nobody's going to wear number 24 anyway, so you might as well put Mark Aguirre
Put
in.
Mark's up there, man. It's
Yeah.
the right thing to do. Mark averaged 20 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists a game, man. He a 2-time NBA champ, 3-time All-Star. Come on, man.
Wow.
So there, put the man up. You know, Mark Cuban on All Ball Chicago. We calling you out. We calling you out, man. And we gonna hashtag you to death on this one.
Bob, Mark Aguirre, McDonald All-American, college All-American,
College Hall of Fame,
Final Four, NBA draft, number 1 draft choice, NBA All-Star, and he might have led the league in scoring one or 2 years, if I'm not, my memory served me correct. He might have. I don't know for sure, so don't, check me on that. But the guy was, man, he was all everything. I mean, you can't knock that, man. It speaks for itself, the things that he did, the things that he accomplished. Mark Aguirre is definitely a Chicago legend, and Chicago need to step up. They need to have a street named after him on the west side where he grew up. Something. They need to do something, man. It's like we always have so many great guys come out of our city, man, and they just don't get the publicity they deserve, to me. That's just me saying, right?
The love too.
They don't get it, man. And I think, all these statues they put in front of these arenas. Mark Aguirre should have a statue actually in front of the Mavericks arena, man. And DePaul definitely should have one. So I don't know if DePaul has one or not of Mark, but DePaul definitely. And the Weston House where he went to school, the gym floor should be named after him. Look at me, man. I got you, Mark. You man, my man.
Mark, look, man, listen to his career stats. Man, the DePaul Blue Demons in 1981, Aguirre was the Sporting News College Player of the Year. He also was the USBWA College Player of the Year and James Naismith Award winner in 1980, and the 2-time member of the Sporting News All-American First Team. As a freshman in 1978-79, he led the Blue Demons to the Final Four where he lost to Indiana State. But, it's just like the numbers don't lie, man. He averaged 24 in college, man.
That's what I'm saying, Bob. It can't be about his numbers, man. It's something else. Somebody's taking something personal against Mark, and who knows what it is, man. I know I don't, but for him not, it's crazy to me, man, for real. You just read off something that I already knew. Like, man, you knew that's what he was doing. He was putting in work.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. It's amazing how Dallas Mavericks, man.
I say, Bob, one day, if we can, man, we get Mark on the show and let Mark talk about what was it all about and what he's all about and what is he doing now and just get him on the show, man, because this show is about Chicago, so All Ball Chicago. So, Mark, I'm going to extend it out to you, brother. Shout out, man, come on the show and let's chop it up. Let's talk, man, Chicago basketball from how you used to do people on the west side, outside, on the playgrounds, to you going to Weston House, to you balling out at DePaul, and then getting drafted, man, being the number 1 player taken in the NBA, man. So come on the show, Mark, and spread your love, man. Show these people what Mark Aguirre was all about.
And he still lead the DePaul Blue Demons in scoring.
So is he the all-time lead scorer?
Yeah, for DePaul.
And he only played 3 years?
He only played 3 years.
My man, Mark Aguirre.
Yes, indeed. Then he went on to the Detroit Pistons, and that's where he really tipped the scale.
Those championship rings, man. Got some rings.
Yeah, him and his boy Isaiah growing up together to win the title together. Adrian Daly was salty about that move, but
yeah, but you know what? This shows me what kind of guy Mark Aguirre really is. Mark Aguirre was starting. And then he went to the coach and said, man, put the worm in, man. Put that Dennis Rodman in. He's bringing that energy, man. I think he, can get us over the hump. So Mark, took a back seat, man. So big shout out to him, man. There's a lot of guys wouldn't do that. Be like, man, you know what? I'm getting my numbers, man. We cool, we good. But he saw something more than him just putting in points. He wanted to win a championship, and he knew with Dennis Rodman being in that lineup, that starting lineup as the hustle man, he knew that they had a good chance of winning with that.
That was genius, man. That was the most genius move ever for him to do that, because it takes a heady guy to do that. And he can still get his 15 off the bench. You know what I'm saying? He was still doing that.
No doubt.
But they knew Adrian Danley wasn't going to throw that ball out. Adrian Danley will hold that mug, massage it. He going to finesse that ball.
Yeah, man. But that era of basketball was something special too, though, man. That era of basketball, I miss it. I miss it because I know I used to watch. I couldn't wait to watch Mark Aguirre and Isaiah Thomas and all of the guys that Ricky Green when they was on television. Man, I was glued to the TV when those guys came on, man. But it just basketball is just not the same. We know it flipped a little bit and it's more. I say it is more athletic. It's a lot of more athletic guys in the league, But man, I miss back in the days, man, for real.
Yeah, man. It's just evolution. That's all it is, man. It's just evolution. And guess what? It'll come back to where they start posting up again. Because you notice some bigger athletes are coming in. Big guys are getting bigger, man, like Zion Williams and them, those type of guys. Those power guys are making their way back. But, yeah, man, we got to give a shout-out to Big Mark. And, man, next up we got TC, man. We're going to give TC some love, man. And then Maurice Cheeks. And then, we're going to try to just get everybody in on this one, man. Because thank y'all, man, for giving kids like us, man, the opportunity to dream.
Definitely, man. Without those Chicago guys, man, it wouldn't be no Marcus. It wouldn't be no Nick Anderson. It wouldn't be no Ben Wilson. It wouldn't be none of those other guys that we looked up to and you guys see in the newspapers and all that, Jabari Parkers and all that, without these guys, man. So big shout out, man. And we can go deeper back into,
Sonny Parker
and Charlie Brown. I mean, it's guys, man. George Wilson. I mean, you could keep going. We can go on and on about guys that came before us. And man, I just want to pay my respect, man, that I love watching the guys that came before me. I learned things from them, and I just hope the next generation do the same thing.
That's what's up, man. But this was a good one, man. And shout out to Big Mark Aguirre, man. Continued success in everything that you got going on with the Champagne, Shirley and Champagne, you and Isaiah Thomas. Man, I had a chance to taste some of that stuff. That was good stuff, man.
Man, we got to get Isaiah too, man. Isaiah too. We talk about Isaiah Thomas too. So this stuff can go on and on, man. Our show gonna go on and on, man, because it's all ball Chicago, man.
Yes, indeed. So shout out to Draws, man. This was a good one, man. May God continue to bless you. Man, thank y'all for tuning in to the show, man. The last one, man, Marcus settled the score on the humdinger side. Got a little heated. Got it up out of him that time, though. But, it's all good, man. All ball Chicago, man. Y'all want to advertise on our show, let us know. Hit us up. Hit Marcus Liberty up.
Yeah, no doubt, man. I'm just laid back, man. Chilling, dude. It ain't, all that, whatever we talked about on the last show, man, that's over, man. I'm good, man. All right. So, man, I appreciate you guys, man, for tuning in. Man, it's more to come. Make sure you subscribe to it, man. It's going to be a dope show. All right. So now it's time for me to what?
Unlace his shoes, man. You got to unlace his shoes, man.
Unlace
it. All right, big fella, man. Peace.
Man, nothing but love. Peace. I holla.